Presents Common Censored.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to Common Censored,
an American First podcast.
I'm Lord Sterling.
And it's your boy Truck Fit Dre.
And whoo, it's what day is it? Thursday. We're still alive. That's
Still
good.
alive.
That's good.
Still kicking. No nukes have dropped. We're still here, people. Okay.
We're still alive.
Yeah. We're still fucking alive. I must say, bro, that is one of the best fucking intros. Like, good lord, you know, like that is a fucking awesome intro, bro. Like, seriously, do you guys know that those are all real keys that bro played? Like, that's not no.
Oh yeah,
fucking,
yeah. I played.
He actually played those keys. You know what I'm saying? All of that.
I programmed the drums, played the bass, played the guitar.
Yo, Edward,
used a vocoder for the voice. Yo, what's up, dude? Oh, LV Nation, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Who's the man, dude? Yeah, so you wanted to talk about the Eric Adams situation, right?
Whoa, yeah. Yeah, bro. This is it's quite unsettling. I understand that, you know, he's a Democrat, but he actually came out about 2-3 weeks ago and had some really good stuff to say. He said, "Look, I'm a liberal. I've been a liberal all my life, but there's a small percentage, a small minority within the Democratic Party that has created this woke movement, and it is literally destroying the party." He also came out and said that these new migration open border policies are going to destroy New York at its core, at the fabric of the city that New York is. You know what I mean? And he was actually on the way to meet with President Biden. He therefore made a post right when his plane was about to land to say, "I'm not going to be able to meet with President Biden. I have to turn around and go right back to New York right now to handle some matters." Well, folks, we know what the matters are. The FBI raided his home, including his finance campaign manager, right?
Yeah,
they're
at
basically
least his campaign is financing fundraising chief. I'm not sure if they raided his place.
Yeah, the home of Eric Adams and his financial chief. Well, this is the thing, bro. Like, so they're saying that he received foreign money. Well, they allowed it to be legal for foreigners to vote in the New York primaries, right? So they're saying, like, you could be in our country, you could be illegally here, right? But you can't contribute. Right? You can vote, but you can't contribute money. So the same policy that he's speaking against, that's saying this is going to destroy New York at its fabric, is the thing that screws him. If anybody wants to read between the lines, we know what this is, man. We know exactly what this is. This is retaliation for his, allegedly, right? Let's put that. We don't want to get sued or nothing. This is allegedly retaliation for his speech against the woke movement and against these open border policies, right?
Seems to be.
Yeah, bro. What does the first little couple of paragraphs say?
Federal prosecutors and the FBI are conducting a broad public corruption investigation into whether Mayor Eric Adams' 2021 election campaign conspired with the Turkish government to receive illegal foreign donations, according to a search warrant obtained by the New York Times. The investigation burst into public view on Thursday when federal agents conducted an early morning raid at the Brooklyn home of the mayor's chief fundraiser, Brianna Suggs. Miss Suggs is a campaign consultant who is deeply entwined with efforts to advance the mayor's agenda. Investigators also sought to learn more about the potential involvement of a Brooklyn construction company with ties to Turkey, as well as a small university in Washington, D.C. that has ties to Turkey and Mr. Adams. According to the search warrant, investigators were also focused on whether the mayor's campaign kicked back benefits to the construction company's officials and employees and to Turkish officials. The agents seized 3 iPhones and 2 laptop computers, along with papers and other evidence, including something agents identified as Manila folder labeled Eric Adams. So this ties him potentially directly to it. And yeah, he hurriedly returned to New York to deal with the matter, according to his spokesman. What are you laughing about over there?
Bro, it's just so a construction company with the owner that basically lives in Turkey. I don't know if you guys know this, but there are a lot of like companies who have foreign owners who are not from this country, who operate within this country, and they live in their country and they benefit from our country as far as our money, right? So this is crazy that a company could donate to you and they hold you responsible for that company donating to you because their owner lives in a different fucking country, and then they could frame it as it's a crime. Bro, I guarantee you this dude doesn't even know that the company owner is from Turkey. Like, you can't control who like sends money to finance your campaign. Like, this is the same thing they're doing to Trump. These charges are not going to stick. You know what I'm saying? Like,
they did the campaign financing thing with Trump too. Like, oh, you're taking donations from white supremacists. He's like, dude, like, how am I supposed to know?
How the fuck am I supposed to know who's
I'm just
donating?
collecting funds.
I'm just
like,
collecting funds.
If I take their money, that is not me endorsing their beliefs. You know, same with like Vivek getting that grant from the Daisy and whatever George Soros's brother's foundation, $50,000 grant while he was in college for like a research grant or something, a school grant, and people are blaming him as if he's like a George Soros puppet for it. There's no strings attached. Take the money and run, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's free money.
This is crazy, bro. I understand it's on the other side of the aisle, like I said once before, but when you see this type of shit happening, bro, this is not good. This is not good for America, bro. The letter agencies are literally being weaponized, bro, against anybody. I hope that you liberals see this shit. They're not just doing it to us.
Yeah.
They're going to do it to anybody who speaks against their agenda. Like, why would you want to vote for that? Bo Dill, what's up, bro? Why would you want to vote for that and support that? Like, I don't understand how anybody could literally, after seeing this, call themselves a Democrat and be okay with it. Because, you know, if you all of a sudden have a change of heart and you see some things that you don't like, they could do the same fucking thing to you. You could be a business owner and they audit you, you know what I'm saying, and find one little thing that you made a mistake on and then convict you of it and give you 10, 15 years. This is what's happening with this Biden administration. Like, they're literally weaponizing their own agencies that's supposed to be here to protect us, and they're weaponizing it against us. And this is something that everybody should be fucking speaking about, and everybody should be speaking out against, because it's just not right.
Yeah, it's the inversion of the way that the system is supposed to work. I can't remember who said it, but show me the man and I'll show you the crime. You know, we're supposed to hear allegations of crimes, investigate, and then determine if the people are responsible for the allegations. But what's happening is they hear somebody say something they don't like, they have a person that they want to target, and they search for the crime. And you will find something, because isn't it like the average person commits like 2 felonies every day without even knowing it, because there's just so many rules that, you know, how's anybody supposed to know all of the laws? You need lawyers and...
Hey, bro, is that like truly a thing? Like, the average person literally commits like 2 felonies a day just because they don't know all of the laws and...
I don't know.
Oh, okay. I was about to say that.
I've heard something like that, but I don't know if it's true or not.
Yeah, that's nuts,
see if
bro.
I can find anything.
Look at General Motors logo. It's no longer GM anymore. Man, I bet.
Okay, so we're over here at the Institute for Policy Studies. 3 felonies a day.
Holy shit.
The world's most incarcerated country. This article is published in 2015. We're supposed to leave. It's the land of the free, but believe it or not. In fact, Harvard University Professor Harvey Silvergates estimates that daily life in the U.S. is so over-criminalized, the average American professional commits about 3 felonies in a day. So this is Harvard saying this.
That's crazy. Talk about a
Yeah.
police state. We've been living in this shit for a long time. We just haven't.
Yeah.
They just put a like pretty face on it. You know what I mean?
Totally. Yeah, it's ridiculous, dude. We're supposed to be the land of the free, but it's anything but that. We're the land of the overregulated and just completely controlled at this point. You can't
Most
even,
definitely.
like the Internal Revenue Code in that documentary "America from Freedom to Fascism" by Aaron Russo, the director or producer of Trading Spaces with Eddie Murphy. He
Right.
went on to expose the Federal Reserve in America from Freedom to Fascism. And he talks about, there's one person being interviewed and they're like, this document, and they hold up a little U.S. pocket constitution. It's like 15 pages long, like 6 by 3 inches. This document freed a nation. And then they hold up the Internal Revenue Code, and it's like
It was
telephone book. This document enslaved it. Boom. They actually interviewed the guy who wrote the Internal Revenue Code, who admitted that income taxes are based on voluntary compliance, which I think we talked about the other day.
Yeah, we talked about that, bro. And they asked them to show us where the law is that says that you have to pay taxes. They can't produce one. It's just not there. It's just not there.
The Whitey Harrell case. So you were talking about SPARS 2028, right?
Oh yeah, bro. Yeah, bro.
You got something on that you wanted to pull on screen?
Yeah, brother. So if you guys look up the Johns Hopkins University SPARS pandemic, here we go right here. As you could see, the SPARS pandemic 2025 to 2028, a futuristic scenario to facilitate medical countermeasure communication, right? So like basically what this is saying, like medical countermeasure measure communication is basically how they're going to counter the voices out there who are loud, like me and you watching, that saying, hey, this is bullshit, this is what we can do to combat this. They already have a plan. And I just implore you guys to go and look this up. But there's one thing in particular that I wanted to talk about, and it is, where is it at? Right here, create characters. So you know how you guys see like Travis Kelce with the fucking with the coronavirus. Nah, I can't say that. With the vaccine commercial, you know what I'm saying? And then you got like people like LeBron James coming out and telling you to go get the vaccine. Well, they're telling you right here, create characters. This is on page 78, figure 1. Create characters. Personify the magnitude and direction change by using real and iconic figures. So you know how you got like fucking Moby talking about if
Exactly.
Uncle Trump gets back in the office, he's gonna leave. These people are all paid and bought for. They all been visited by the letter agencies. Not going to say their names, but you know who the fuck they are. And they basically put them on payroll and they ask them to do a favor. And if you do this favor, we'll put you on a bigger pedestal, or you might get an opportunity to perform at the Super Bowl halftime, or anything to help further their cause they will do. Look at some more of the key points. Identify focal issue and time frame. Single out a key decision or strategic uncertainty that has a long range of consequences important to the organization. Brainstorm a list of key drivers. Consider notable forces shaping and influencing the focal issues: social, technological, economic, natural, and political. So it's like they got all of this shit mapped out, bro. Figure 2, this is on page 79. So it says the final scenario framework, 4 possible futures in which the SPARS pandemic unfolds, right? So it says isolated communities, right? So they want us to be isolated. They don't want us to be together. Social fragmentation, right? So echo chambers. We already know what those are, right? UN Security Council. So if you don't get the vaccine, they're going to come in and fucking force you to do it, right? Solitary confinement. Holy shit. So, diverse by integrated communities and melting pots. So, bro. This is crazy shit. This is crazy. I don't understand how this could be wide out in the open. I'm sorry, you guys had a phone call. I had to mute it out. But yeah, I don't understand how this could be wide open and nobody actually really talking about this. Well, we actually do have people talking about it, but as you know, there's a such thing as being shadow banned, and they can take post down to demonetize you and all of that shit. Let's go to another part of it, and it says the SPARS scenario and introduction. The scenario environment. The setting of SPARS in the world is the world in 2025 to 2028. For this time period, the project team imagined a world that is simultaneously more connected and yet more divided. Where we are right now, right? We're all connected through, bro's all the way in his home state. I'm not going to say where that is, but it's somewhere in the East Coast. I'm way in the West Coast, and we're connected, right? But yet, a lot of our ideologies, whether political or the way you live, a lot of people are divided. And it says,
right. Or just the idea of cell phones in general, like we're connected to all the information and all the people in the world right at our fingertips.
At the press of a
while
finger.
we're on our phones, we're isolated from everybody around us.
Around us, Yeah, and it says there is nearly universal access to wireless internet for even the poorest persons in the United States. Additionally, technology innovations and competition between technology companies have made an even wider range of information technology readily available to all. Despite the possibilities for these advancements to facilitate broad communication between individuals and communities, the project team also envisioned a future where many have chosen to self-restrict the sources they seek for information, often electing to interact only with those whom they agree with on significant issues. Right?
Well, cock-a-doodle-doo.
Hey, isn't that how the fucking world works? I mean, you find things you like, you find things you don't like, you set the things you don't like over here, and you set the things you do like over there. I mean, that's how the fucking world works, right? So I implore anybody out there, just type in John Hopkins SPARS, and this entire document will come up. It also talks about the vaccine injuries, right? Let's just see what they say. As time passed and more people across the United States were vaccinated, claims of adverse side effects began to emerge.
And let's just say, you think that they're just making this up out of nowhere? We're guessing people are just going to start complaining about the vaccine effects. No, they know it's a bioweapon. They know people are going to rise up against it. And this is the plan, how they're going to deal with us.
Right. It says several parents claimed that children were experiencing neurological symptoms similar to those seen among livestock exposed to the GMI vaccine. So that's crazy. Like this vaccine is gonna do the same shit that fucking it does to fucking animals. That lets you know they treat us like fucking human cattle. By May 2027,
actually, that's a really important point because legally speaking, animals don't have rights like humans. So there's this whole thing that if we can get legally, if humans will willingly classify themselves as animals, it removes our innate God-given human rights from us, and it's like a whole another topic we can get into another time about that.
Yeah,
maritime admiralty law and Codex Alimentarius and all this various stuff.
He's an encyclopedia of knowledge, bro. He's a fucking encyclopedia. And it says by May 2027, parental anxiety around the claim has intensified to the point of lawsuits. That month, a group of parents whose children developed mental retardation as a result of the whatever the fuck that word is in wake of the Coravax vaccine sued the federal government demanding removal of the liability shield protecting the pharmaceutical companies responsible for developing the manufactured Coravax. So
that was encephalitis was that word.
Oh, okay, encephalitis. So this is it's all up there for you to see, people. I mean, we could all go and view this shit. John Hopkins University. Just type in John Hopkins University SPARS, and it'll come up the document. This is their plan. They say it's a scenario.
There's more.
There's more.
And it's not the only one, because we've seen this happen before. With back in the day, in 2010, the Rockefeller Foundation released this document, Scenarios for the Future of Technology and International Development, from the Rockefeller Foundation. And just like it was futuristic scenarios on that last SPARS 2025-2028 document, scenarios for future of technology and development. In other words, scenarios for how in the future they'll use technology to consolidate global government. That's what that means translated. And so basically it goes into this whole thing where there will be chaotic scenarios, 4 different scenarios that they list off here that they can use in the future to consolidate towards global government and controlling the entire population. The first of which just so happens to be lockstep on 18. So let's take a look at that. That is the COVID pandemic plan, basically. They talk about a hypothetical 2012 pandemic.
Way back in 2012, they talked about this shit, and it didn't happen until 2021. These people are sick.
Yeah, and basically it just goes through and they lay out the whole plan of, how they're going to intervene with philanthropy, technology, everything. And there's 4 of these scenarios. One of them is hack attack, where everything gets hacked and they shut down the internet. And I can't remember what the other 2 are right now because I only gave this a cursory review before jumping on today. But look it up. 2010 Rockefeller Foundation. Let's look at the title again. Scenarios for the Future of Technology and International Development. That's the name of the document. You can find it. It's still out there. It exists. It shows the 4 planned scenarios for consolidating global power in the future. We've had lockstep happen already. And even during the whole pandemic thing, there's videos of Biden and Trudeau talking about how they were working in lockstep to handle the pandemic scenario. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Last episode we had, I think it was Valentine American, who was asking us about fixes, like scenarios, plans for how we could fix the situation that we're in instead of just destroying everything. And I wanted to mention this. I forgot to mention it. Published by Skyhorse Publishing, Alex Jones' new book, The Great Awakening, Defeating the Globalists and Launching the Next Great Renaissance. It just came out. It's got a whole plan in it for how we rebuild and repair and move forward. Jones said that he was inspired by Vivek, who has been talking about not just complaining but having solutions and having plans. And Vivek delivered his very intricate precision plan for dissembling the administrative state. And Alex, in this book, has a whole section where he proposes a solution and a blueprint to get us out of all of this. So definitely check that out. Let's see what we got for comments going on here. Bo Diddle, what's up, dude?
Yo.
Fighting illegals, that could be happening if we even have another election,
Right, it's fucking scary.
Yeah, ammo, food, water, toilet paper.
Toilet paper in there for the hell of it.
The wellness company, they have a preemptive pack of antibiotics and medicines that you might need in an emergency type scenario. Use promo code SALTY for 20% off. Salty Cracker, you owe me, Salty, for shouting out your promo code. I'm just kidding. But let's see, what else do we have on the topic list for tonight? We have revelations that Trump's lawyers were dropping in court. Let's jump to that. Basically, in court, Trump's lawyers dropped a whole bunch of information that we did not know about already, including that Trump still had active security clearance until June 2023. So while he was in possession of all these documents, it's not like he didn't have clearance, So these are all things that were well at least a lot of them were well within his rights to possess. I mean, and they would be anyway, because anything he takes with him when leaving the White House is automatically declassified, as proven by the Clinton sock drawer precedent. But yeah, Trump's lawyers told Judge Eileen Cannon a couple afternoons ago they have evidence that the Biden White House collaborated with National Archives, the Department of Justice, and IC intelligence community to determine which documents to include in Jack Smith's indictments. Troves of evidence include years worth of security footage, extensive communications between the White House, NARA, intel agencies, DOJ, and Jack Smith prior to the indictment. How did Trump get all this stuff, I wonder?
Bro,
Trump,
he
got the Space Force doing stuff for him.
The intelligence agencies are split, just like the United States, military. There's Trump guys and there's fucking these dumb liberals. Sorry if you don't like it. I don't give a fuck. We don't want you here anyways. You're American and you have your right to think, but we don't like you. So it is what it is.
100%.
Yeah, most definitely.
Or respect you. We don't respect you either, or like you.
No.
So defense might include the Secret Service, which is interesting, as a considered member of prosecution since they have the ability, since they have their own security apparatus. This is Julie Kelly, who's bringing all this to light. So they have not seen, Trump's lawyers have not seen any underlying evidence to back up the claims that 345 classified documents reviewed by Jack Smith are even classified. Also from the hearing, Jack Smith told the judge the classification review of 340 or so documents had been completed, but the defense says they have memos confirming material is classified per intel review, but no underlying evidence to actually support that claim. So these are all just like castles made of sand, all of these bogus lawsuits that Trump is going through. With the documents, he had the right to them. He had the right to declassify them. He could say anything he wants on national TV. He could declassify our nuclear secrets or anything. The executive is the top of the executive branch, and they can do whatever they want with executive branch documents. So that's bogus. Then the New York case, third parties evaluated the value of Mar-a-Lago. The banks accepted the evaluation. The loans were paid back in full. There's no victim in the case. So where's the crime?
Hey, bro, this is another thing. Since when does a fucking bank allow you to appraise your own property? No, people. They send somebody out that works for them. 9 times out of 10, they're going to appraise it at a fucking lower price to make more fucking money. You fucking idiots. I'm sorry.
It's all good. And true. And also, like, there's not like just a static price point for any given property. Let's say I have let's say I have this bottle, but it's made of silver, right? There's the silver value of the bottle, like 5.5 grams of silver X value.
Yeah.
Then there's the value from turning it into a piece of art, even though a bottle is not really like artistic. We're just using it as an example. So there's added value, like you take a piece of silver, you turn it into a necklace. It's worth more as a necklace than as a bar. But then there's also potential sentimental value and everything. If you want to sell something, you might want to buy it for its price as a necklace, but if it was given to me by my grandmother, that's going to add to the price that you're going to have to pay if you want it. And so, prices are not just these static things that are simply decidable. There's fluctuations and there's variations that are logical, where you could say Mar-a-Lago could be worth anywhere from, 300 to million to 1.2 billion. Who knows? People have outright said they'd pay like a bill for it or 600 mil for it. So it's not like, it's just outrageous.
Hey, bro, do you see what Mama said? She said they just turned off my whole video. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, we know, Mama. We know what we can see in the analytics and we can see in the live numbers. I mean, sometimes we'll have 3 or 4 people say we have 0. Like we know what's going on. I hope there's something we can do about it, but pretty much not. Matter of fact, let's
I'm gonna have to
talk
start
about something,
streaming a
bro.
Rumble.
Well, I think that it's going to take a concerted effort for people like George, who got deplatformed and he's rebuilding his platform again, and Lou and all of these guys. And we just need to like basically go on, whoever has the biggest platform, and everybody go on there and say, you know, if there's anybody who works for YouTube who has been fired, who could come out and speak about the inner workings of how they actually blacklist people and shadow ban people, that would be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to blow the whistle.
Let's talk about Lou's monetization situation for a brief moment too, because as Kingdom Reacts points out, it is in the YouTube guidelines and terms and conditions that if you choose not to monetize your video, even if you don't monetize your videos, there may be ads run on it. That YouTube has reserves the right to run ads on it on your videos if you don't monetize them. But in this circumstance, Lou's situation is different because they told him the videos cannot be monetized because they became
At all.
harmful content, right?
Right.
So if they're not worthy of monetization by Lou, if he's not even allowed to monetize it, and then they go and monetize it anyway, that's fraud in my opinion. And because you can't simultaneously say that this can't be monetized because it's harmful while monetizing it yourself. You know, if you can monetize it because it's monetizable, then Lou should have the option to monetize it if he's worthy of being monetized. So
Right.
I think
So
that's fraud.
They just fucking steal your money, and basically, even I don't. So the whole demonetization thing, we know how it goes, bro. You get to a certain point, and then they demonetize you, and they keep your money. I think it's a business model for them to make money.
For
But
sure.
at the same time, they do not have the fucking right to shadow ban you. That's bullshit. Because you don't agree with because there's some fucking asshole who's sitting in the YouTube office saying, I don't like that. We're gonna press the button on it. No, you shouldn't be able to do that. Demonetize it all the fuck you want, but don't shadow ban people so they can't get recommended, or their subscribers, they don't get notifications when you're going live, or when you have a new video that's about to be released. Like, I think that's bullshit. So it's only going to take for one person to come out of YouTube and tell people, like, yeah, this is how it works. This is what they do. And maybe, the focus will start to shift to other platforms because it's bullshit. But yeah, though. What's the next topic?
Let's see. Next topic, we've got Colorado prosecutors caught in a major lie in court. They're trying to remove President Trump from the ballot. And we've got a video here giving the details. Let's take a look and see what's going on. Where is the video?
I think you just was it at the top, bro?
I tried to click on it, but it's just a screenshot. That's just a screenshot.
Ah, shit. Okay.
Oh,
that sucks.
Let's see. There is a video somewhere.
It's right there where the coding is, but it's not allowing it to be played.
I
wonder who stopped that.
Yeah, some kind of issue with the website loading at this point.
Yeah.
Well, let's read what they're saying. Democrats were up to their old tricks again on Monday. The Democrat Party's radical far-left attorneys in Colorado delivered their opening statement to toss Trump from the ballot in their state. During their opening remarks, the Trump-hating attorneys shared 2 clips of President Trump's speech at the Ellipse to 1 million supporters. They insist Trump started a violent riot, but they refuse to play the part of his statement calling on his supporters to peacefully march to the U.S. Capitol. But that's not all. The prosecuting attorneys also lied about their timeline of events. They showed the court on Monday. The attorneys misrepresented the timestamps on the videos they played in court, not by minutes, but by hours. They claimed the speech given by Trennis Evans on the U.S. Capitol took place at 2:24 p.m. on January 6th, but in reality, it took place at 4:22, 2 hours later. The Democrats are trying everything to get Trump thrown out of off the ballot in Colorado, and they're even falsifying video evidence and timestamps.
That's illegal.
Yeah,
that
so
is
here
fucking illegal.
Superimposed a time stamp on this video, manually lying about the time, trying to make it seem like this all happened earlier as an intentional, plan to agitate and get people to break into the Capitol, basically. So not a big shocker. Not a
Hey,
big shocker.
Chad C, thank you, bro. Hey, let's send it. Before we say that, let's send a shout out to Mama K, Mama Mac, Mama Chad C, Bo Deal, my boy Edward Hoskins, Jet Lag in the building. You know what I'm saying? We appreciate everybody out here. If you haven't said a comment, we appreciate you too for being here. So he says that he thinks that Forbes breaking news has the video of it. Do you know if Trump's lawyers were actually able to come out and say, hey, that's not a right timestamp? Were they actually able to bring their evidence to say, hey, that's not when that happened? Here is the timestamp where this actually happened. Or did the judge probably not allow him to admit that part of the evidence to the trial because they
Good
could
question.
do that punk shit too?
Well, it's being reported on, so it came out somehow. Somebody realized it. Hopefully, they were able to bring it up in court promptly to inform the jury that they're being misled.
Yeah, that's fucked up. Damn, they're literally superimposing timestamps to make shit look like it happened when it went like literally. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the video.
It is crazy, bro.
Yep, super ridiculous. Wording of, oh no, it's a different thing. How about let's jump over to this little video that I got. This is a throwback that's really important that just kind of puts everything in perspective. This video is of G. Edward Griffin, all the way back in, I think, the 60s, talking about communist smear tactics. And it seems like something random, but when I play this, I think you'll understand how it's relevant to our current time period.
In 1943, the following directive was issued from party headquarters to all communists in the United States. It read, when certain obstructionists become too irritating, label them after suitable buildup as fascist or Nazi or anti-Semitic, and use the prestige of anti-fascist and tolerance organizations to discredit them. In the public mind, constantly associate those who oppose us with those names which already have a bad smell. The association will, after enough repetition, become fact in the public mind.
Trump is a racist. Trump is a fascist. Trump is a racist. Trump is a fascist. Trump worked for Russia. Trump worked for Russia. Trump is racist. Orange man bad. So that's the exact thing that's going on now. We're in the middle of a communist takeover by the radical left, and they're employing tactics that were openly advocated in their 1943 communist handbook.
Right.
In order to shut down dialogue by associating people with racism, fascism, Nazism, bigotry, because it instantly discredits their arguments and makes nobody want to take them seriously. It's like a depersoning type psychological effect.
Yeah.
So I thought that would be worth bringing up.
Hey, what they say, bro? History always has a way of repeating itself.
Yeah.
History Mama Mac, that's what's up. Another Connecticut native. You know what I'm saying?
No
one of my
way.
close friends are from Connecticut. You know what I'm saying? A really close friend. Connecticut, the Constitution state.
It's me. We'll just admit it. Castle Sterling on the Sound.
Yes, man. That's a fucking awesome story. I was so happy that, now that's all going to tie into, this is actually going to help Trump's case and say, see, I told you guys, if it's happening in local races, just think of what, links they will go to make it happen in a nationwide race as far as the presidential race. Like, if they're doing this locally, just think of what they'll fucking do for the presidential race.
Yeah, so, the lady in court even admitted in the Bridgeport case that they haven't been following the law for the 20 plus years that she's been operating in her position in the elections in Bridgeport. So this was in the Democrat primary election in Bridgeport, and now it's been overturned following shocking video of this lady stuffing the boxes with ballots. And then a different lady, I think, admitting in court straight up that, oh, I didn't know that we were supposed to be checking signatures. We haven't done that, since
Shut
I've
up,
worked
kid.
here.
You're lying. Yeah, you know you're lying. You know you're lying. I can't wait until they find out who's behind it, because she would not, well, I don't think it was her. I think it was the Hispanic lady. She would plead the fifth to everything they asked her about who put her up to this. I want to find, that's what I want to get to, the meats and potatoes of this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. This whole situation is just
Are
so
you aware
ridiculous.
that the Secretary of State says that an outer envelope, the endorsement of the town clerk must show the date, the precise time the clerk received the ballot, and the clerk's signature? You're aware of that?
Honestly, no. Like, dude, come on. What are you doing there? What have you been doing there? Like, you don't know the basics about the election process, and you're kind of in charge of the whole thing.
The fucking incompetence to actually have somebody in there who actually says, honestly, no, you full of shit. All right, bro, let her rock out.
It's so ridiculous.
And were you aware that if the Secretary of the State says in Exhibit 126, if an outer envelope does not substantially comply with this requirement, the ballot cannot be counted?
Well, that's what it says.
Did you know that?
Did you know that?
Now I do.
Now I
Okay, I
do.
guess maybe I should ask, did you know that?
Right.
Did you know that on September 12th?
No, I did not.
No, I do.
And did you ever instruct your absentee ballot moderator that that was the rule?
You go over
Charge
the
3.
manual.
You went over this manual?
Every time she lied, that's another charge.
Yeah, we need this person to be in, federal fuck me in the ass prison. I mean,
Man.
it'll be a women's prison, so it won't quite be that
No.
style, but
Ain't no telling what type of freaking shit they doing up over there.
oh no,
You know what
men
I'm
can be
saying?
women now, so it still could be a federal
Oh,
fuck me in the
shit.
ass prison.
Hey, yeah, you never
Women
know.
get pregnant in prisons now all the time, with all the
What?
trans women going to prison.
Oh man, they still like to use them poles, huh?
Yeah, it's happened. It's
Hey,
basically it's just an excuse to.
We're already fucked. We will never be monetized.
Yeah, we're never getting monetized. We're gonna have to focus building our crew on Rumble.
Yeah, we're gonna have to focus on donations and shit, bro. But fuck it, we getting the message out there. This
I got
is scary.
another super scary. I got another interesting story. How about this? The FBI director Chris Wray issues warning that terrorist attacks, and terror organizations and Hamas may conduct attacks here. Something he missed, when the thing all started, and how they've been just focusing on Trump supporters the whole time that he's been in office, saying, white supremacists are the most dire terror threat to the U.S. And then when asked under oath, can you name a single instance of a white supremacist that you've been investigating? And he's like, no, I can't think of any off the top of my head. Yet,
No.
people who are actually like real intelligence analysts, this 39-year intel analyst says there will be multiple terrorist attacks in the U.S. over the next 14 months leading up to the election. An entrepreneur from California who works in the field of geo-tracking, geolocation, and intel analysis is warning that over the next 14 months, the U.S. will suffer a wave of terrorism on our own soil. Tony Saruga, who claims to have been an intel analyst for 39 years, jumped on his X account on Tuesday to warn that we are on the eve of wave after wave of terror attacks on our homeland. Just like we've been talking about with the border open, they're bringing people in who are going to be doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Like, if you understand that this is how these type of things operate, it could not be clearer. With the borders open, with them just letting everybody in, with the everything going on in the Middle East, the second we start, getting involved with that, it's going to pop off here, and it's, it could be.
Hey, bro, click on some of them pictures. These motherfuckers is showing their jihadism like on their body, like.
Yeah, let's see. This is where it took us. It's all just one picture. It looks like.
Oh fuck! Yeah, these
motherfuckers
is crazy.
Here we are.
Yeah, look at them. You think is that the type of motherfucker we need to be in our country? Is that? Hold on. Go over more. Go over more. Fuck him. Look, is this the type of motherfuckers that need to be in our country? Are you fucking serious? Like that man, this shit
It's
is
a
all
mess,
a
dude.
plot, bro. So as soon as it happens,
It's a
they're gonna
mess.
lock the whole country down. You're not gonna be able to go nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Look at these motherfuckers. You ain't gonna be able to. What'd he say? What'd he say?
Let's see.
Venezuela.
Oh, Venezuela.
Oh,
I thought he was going to say Bacala, Haka Sherpa Sherpa, Muhammad Jihad.
You know what I'm
Team
saying?
America.
Yeah, bro. Like, yeah, man. And you know, the first thing that's gonna happen is they're gonna lock people down. Then they're gonna try to come and take your arms from you, and bro, it's gonna be fucked up.
Yeah,
It's
so go
gonna
check out
fuck up.
Tony Saruga on Twitter, on X at Tony Saruga. And this looks like he's got a bunch of important stuff on his page. Definitely worth scoping that out. We had another interesting story about a J6 defendant who who wouldn't go quietly into the cold night. A deaf defendant named Vitali Gossjankowski fights FBI agents as they're taking him into custody, flips over tables in the courtroom, and a brawl erupts. Basically, he was supposed to be released on before his conviction or whatever, while he was still a free man, but they decided to take him into custody instead. Nearly a dozen U.S. Marshals, FBI agents, court of security officers tackled and forcibly arrested him. He was convicted of assaulting police during the Capitol riot. He refused to surrender, and apparently he lost his shit basically and started flipping tables. And
because he probably ain't do shit. He probably ain't do a motherfucking thing.
Yep, there's 100% conviction rate, which is never a good sign. Only in like corrupt shitholes, basically, do you convict 100% of the time. As they tried to place him in handcuffs, he threw his hand up and lashed out like the Incredible Hulk, the article says, wrestled court officers to the ground, knocking over tables and chairs. Unfortunately, I don't think that there is a video because it was in federal court.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just no video in federal courts. But as the article said, this was unfortunately inevitable because these people are not being treated with respect or or given real justice. Unfortunately, they've been handed longer sentences than murderers for nonviolent crimes, even if you weren't there. Like they've had Owen Schroyer in isolation, in solitary confinement, when he was literally telling people not to enter the building and to go to the permitted areas. And they're using COVID as an excuse. Oh, COVID is so dangerous. We're going to have to put you in isolation and torture you. It's a form of torture. And when he came out, he did an interview on the phone call, which was being recorded, and they didn't like that. So they threw him back in solitary confinement. And yeah, some of that Yankee justice for treason. This whole situation is completely insane. And it doesn't, get any less insane from here. One of the next stories we got to cover is even crazier.
Fauci-Run, yeah, man. Yeah, man, he ran a fucking lab literally where they bought birds in from Wuhan to Montana, and he did the studies that. What the fuck is going on? Why ain't this motherfucker locked up right now?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Why did Trump allow him to hold that position at all? And that's the main problem with Trump, is that he just, for some reason, he decided to try to work with the swamp more than he should have, and he brought in all kinds of people around him that just did not help the situation at all. And he trusted people he shouldn't have, and Fauci was one of these people, obviously. An investigation has revealed that the NIH, led at the time by disgraced former director of National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, NIAID, Dr. Anthony Fauci, conducted experiments involving a SARS-like virus known as WIV1. These tests were conducted in a Montana lab in 2018, more than a year before the COVID-19 pandemic wreaked havoc across the globe. I remember the Rittenhouse trial, his lawyer kept saying havoc instead of just havoc. That was kind of funny. So the NIH experiment involved infecting 12 Egyptian fruit bats with SARS-like virus called W1V1. How about this? Any type of this shit that you're doing when you're taking viruses and infecting shit and fucking around shit, death penalty to all of you for fucking around with nature and putting us all in danger by manipulating viruses. How about that? Death penalty. This is crimes against humanity, crimes against, animals, using them to experiment, to create diseases, to kill humanity.
Straight up fucking democide.
Straight up democide. Like you'd said, oh, well, there's no U.S. on that list right now. The U.S. is going to have to be on that democide list now that they've used jabs and lockdowns, and like tens of millions of people died from starvation as a result of the lockdowns. That was another thing I said on that podcast. I was like, people are going to die from starvation. The co-hosts were like, oh, you're insane. Blah, 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 blah. Well, now it turns out that 10 plus million people in the third world died from starvation when the food supplies were cut off and the supply chains broken during the lockdowns and everything like that. So like this whole situation is just ridiculous. The fact that they're taking, these viruses from Wuhan and doing experiments, and we talked about before, this is ongoing, the Nazi bioweapons that have been released on us in the U.S. They had Eric Traub, who was captured in Germany during World War II at the end, and with Project Paperclip, he got brought over to the U.S. He was working on using ticks as a vector to transmit disease, and he got put on Plum Island off the coast of Connecticut, like 8 miles from me, coincidentally, for a little while. And it just so happens that a few years later, ticks transmitting diseases appear in Lyme, Connecticut, right on the coast of Connecticut, right by Plum Island. It seems like a deer or something got off the island carrying a tick that they'd been using in their experiments for transmitting diseases, or they just released it because, these people are pure evil. And that's why they call it Lyme disease, because it just appeared out of nowhere in Lyme, Connecticut, right near the biological weapons research facility where a Nazi was working on using ticks to transmit diseases. So what are the odds of that? It's like, they just can't let us, just chill for 10 minutes. They're always coming at us with something. They have to be tinkering with viruses and doing all this evil stuff under the justification, the guise of creating vaccines and preventing biological warfare. Bullshit. It's a front. They're creating weapons. That's what it's all really about. Tweet, what is the matter over there? Hold on a second.
This is I don't know if it gets any more what's the word?
Overt.
How does it get any more sinister than this?
Oh, sinister, yeah.
How could you even explain something like this? Like, there is no other type of answer you could have besides for, we want to demolish the human race. We want all the resources for ourselves. We don't want you motherfuckers here anymore. We got artificial intelligence. We don't need you to be workers. We can have computers working for us. We don't have to pay them. We don't have to give them insurance. We want to kill off about 70% of the population.
Yeah.
That's the only fucking thing I could think of, bro.
Right.
There's no
Elon Musk even came out and said it, that it's like humanists versus extinctionists, that these people literally want us dead. Ted Turner said he wanted, 90% of humanity wiped out. Prince Charles, one of them said when he dies, he wants to come back as a virus to exterminate humanity. These people are sick. They and it's not just humanists versus extinctionists. Those are subcategories of individualists versus collectivists. people who believe in the individual and individual rights, and that's what this country is founded on, built from the ground up on an individualist premise towards those ends of securing individual liberty. And then there's collectivism, socialism, fascism, monarchy, all of these things that are on the complete opposite spectrum. They're incompatible with one another. There's no crossover. So we've had a slow progression of incrementally adding more collectivist systems into America, to destroy our system and subvert it from the top down. And it's not an accident.
Yeah, man. Woo-wee, man. All of the isms, brother. They ain't good for you. They ain't good for you. All of the isms.
The isms causing the schisms.
Yeah, man. And to anybody out there that's commenting, it's kind of hard to keep up with the content and react to all of the comments, but we just want to let y'all know that we rocking with y'all. We see your comments. It just sometimes it's hard to see what chat say. Did you know the movie Shawshank Redemption? They said it was inhumane to feed a live maggot to a crow. They had to wait until it died naturally.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting. I never knew that. You know what I'm saying? Mama Mac, even if Trump knew Fauci was a corrupt ass, which he likely did based on how Fauci handled. Oh yeah, AIDS. Yeah, he had a big hand in. Yeah, imagine how he would have.
Ooh, we're gonna have to do a deep dive into AIDS sometime soon, because HIV was the product of the U.S. Special Virus Program, and there's a dude who put together a whole flow chart of where how it all came together and the organizations involved with it. And I just did a deep dive in this the other day, and I'm forgetting his name. But we'll have to talk about that soon, because that was also not a coincidence, and it didn't come from humans and monkeys, doing stuff.
Hey, bro, and did you know that agency that she named, which I will not say, period. I feel like it's a fallacy to even say their name, but that agency that starts with the C. Do you know that they're a for-profit agency?
Really?
They're a for-profit agency. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, that explains, Fauci was testifying in Congress, and he was asked, well, hey, do you and your science buddies, are you getting royalties from these new drugs that are coming out, these vaccines and stuff? And he's like, I don't have to answer that. We can get as much money as we want. It's like, dude, your conflict of interest is out of control. Dude, these people are pure evil. And Mama Mac is right that he would have been harangued, Trump, by the media as not trusting the CDC director, which, I mean, he would be right to do, because the CDC is,
Alicia Savage, what up, corrupt. What up? One of the day ones. What's happening?
Hello. Welcome back.
Well, welcome back. Good to see you. Gotta love those ads too. Athletes fail mac and cheese and THC.
I'm not sure which ads.
He's talking about Travis Kelce, the tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah, doing all of the fucking ads for the vaccine. Yeah, bro, it's they found out that he got $25 million fucking dollars for that one ad.
Crazy. Mama Max mentioning growing up on the shore. I'm assuming in Connecticut, maybe Montauk. Oh no, Connecticut. She's from Connecticut, and seeing one of the mutated Plum Island animals washed up on a beach after a big storm. One in pics shown during recent documentary on Lyme disease. Are you referring to the quote Montauk monster?
AKA Stranger Things.
The
Montauk spirit. Y'all know that shit was real. What they talking about on Stranger Things? That shit actually happened. They were taking little kids in it, bro.
Yeah, we
gotta do a show on that too.
Episode. I think we covered that somewhat. We can do a deep dive into it though. Yeah.
The
Montauk monster was like this weird dog, like possum-looking creature with like a weird jaw and its teeth exposed, that washed up on Montauk right near Plum Island maybe 10 years ago, and it was all over the news for a while. And I'm betting that's she's saying she actually saw one in the late 70s, early 80s. That's some wild stuff right there. That's pretty hardcore.
She's one of the only fucking people who repost our shows. I fucking love you. I fucking love you. Okay, yes. I hope I'm
Hey, Jeannie.
Jeannie. Yes, fucking I love you so much. She's one of the only people on X that religiously repost our shit and like our shit, all of our episodes. We
Thank you so
appreciate you
much,
so
Jeannie.
fucking much.
Yeah.
Most definitely. We love you.
LV
Thank you.
Nation all day.
LV Nation coming to support, no doubt.
So the creature
mine
that
washed up
Mama
in
saw.
Brantford, Connecticut. Whoa. That is
Yeah.
crazy, bro.
Super
Nuts.
sketchy.
One thing
Super
about the
sketchy.
Luciferian doctrine, though, one of their rules is they have to tell you what they're doing. In a lot of ways that they tell you indirectly is through movies and entertainment. So
Yeah.
it's part of the Luciferian doctrine. And that's because God, you cannot do anything unto God's children without having permission. So one of the things that they do is they tell you what they're going to do through entertainment and through movies and shit, through music
just
videos.
like the spin-off of X-Files, The Lone Gunman, had a plane hitting the trade towers, I think, a few months before that happened. And things like that. And there was that show, The Americans, about Russian spies, splinter cells, sleeper cells infiltrating the U.S. government and corporations, that came out in like 2013-ish. And the second I saw the commercial was right after the Russian reset, where Obama and Hillary hit the red button with Russia and reset our relationship to make us friends again, right? And then the show comes out, and the first thing I see when I see the commercial is like, this is predictive programming. They're setting the stage to make Russia the enemy again. And I started telling people this, and they're like, no, you're crazy. You wouldn't believe how if I had a nickel for every time I've been told I've been crazy. I'm not,
bro. You could clearly see it, like they had the Soviets plastered all over that fucking show. I'm not gonna lie, me and my family, we watched it from season 1 all the way to the end. It was
I heard it was really good. Yeah,
it's really good. But you could clearly see it. It was like, why are the Soviets like so hard pressed like in this show? Like, when it was really our fucking government who was doing the experiment anyways. It's like, hey, we're going to create the problem and then we're going to blame somebody else for it. And then
they were
at the
seeding
end,
the public.
And then at the end of everything, after you find out about it, it's too fucking late. And the people who benefited from it, they're just gonna fly off into the sky, on their fucking Cayman Islands somewhere. You're never gonna hear from them. You know what I'm saying? So it's sad, bro. It's definitely sad. All of those
that movie, Avatar. You remember Avatar?
Yeah.
Remember how they had that giant tree, and there was like a big event where they broke the tree, and the whole tree came tumbling down and everything. I got to show you guys this. I saw this crazy spot in Yemen. This is in damned Yemen. And it looks to me like a huge ass tree stump. It's supposed to be a volcano.
Yeah, it looks like a tree stump to me. You can see the roots.
Yeah, so might that have been another instance of predictive programming, where they show us something on TV and movies, something from real life from way back in the day? Look at how level the top of it is. It's like it's just sliced off perfectly flat.
That does not look like a fucking volcano, bro.
Right, that's what I'm saying, dude. Like, this is some weird stuff. Some really weird.
Looks like a pathway into hollow. It looks like a pathway into hollow earth, bro.
Yeah, apparently it's like sulfur. There's sulfur coming out of it, like deadly fumes and stuff. And to answer Jeannie, yes, we have heard of Event 201. We mentioned it last episode, I believe. It was like a war games convention held over in Europe, where all these countries came together and corporations, and they were planning how they would react to a global pandemic scenario. And then what do you know? The drill goes into live time as COVID hits. And I was in Canada in early October in 2019 for my friend's wedding. So October 5th, my best friend, I was like his best man, and I hosted the wedding and like and everything like that. It was crazy. And we both went to Berkeley together, and he came out after the wedding when the band was playing with a saxophone and did like a surprise like performance on sax that blew everybody's mind. It was the coolest. But we went to Niagara Falls for like a joint bachelorette party, type weekend before the wedding. And we all got super, super sick, like the sickest we've ever been. I could barely breathe for like a week. And looking back on it, I think we all got COVID because it was right around Event 201, and when the militaries were supposedly got infected in like a war games thing in China, and were spreading the disease to military bases all around the world in September of 2019 is what came out afterwards. And so I think we all got hit by COVID probably in October 2019. So that was pretty crazy. We all survived, luckily.
Yeah.
Yes, we have heard of Event 201. It's kind of similar to the SPARS 2025, 2028 thing that we
covered at the beginning of the
Edward says
episode.
that's a tree, right?
That's
you
a tree.
Can see like tree rings.
You could literally see the rings. You could literally see like the humongous roots. Like, bro, that is not a fucking that does not look like a volcano, bro.
There's two of them. There's this one over here right next to it too. There's like, this is the main damped volcano, and it's got like a huge hollow cavity underneath it. You can see what look like tree rings. And then this one over here is also what appears to be another type of stump or something. And there's like this giant crevasse going between them. Man. So we don't have any idea what's going on. There's a third one over here too. There's three of them. Oh, come on, get out of the way, advertisement. I just want to click the Zoom button.
Yeah, we don't want any of your fucking products at all.
Yeah.
You're probably fucking kill us anyways, faster.
Small stump, medium stump,
right.
Large stump.
Yeah,
and
makes
to me,
sense.
The way that these buttress roots is what they look like. They all branch out in different directions. It doesn't look like some type of lava tube formation to me.
No, not at all.
I mean, I'm far from an expert, but that looks like a tree, right?
Facts. Yeah, it does, bro.
Edward agrees. So that's pretty interesting. That made me, I saw the clip from Avatar after that in a whole new light.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Crazy stuff.
Yeah,
How
bro.
About go ahead, brother.
No, go ahead, bro.
Oh, I was just gonna ask if you wanted to watch watch some of this interview with Yuri Bezmenov, the KGB defector who exposed the plan for subverting the U.S.
Yeah.
Is there something you wanted to mention first before we jump in?
No. Let's go ahead and jump into it. And talk about, because I've seen the interview, but it's also good that we show some of the people that haven't seen the interview, and they could kind of connect the dots as to what's going on right now. It's crazy how the government plans all of this shit like 30, 40, 50 years down the line, bro. It's like they plan their bloodlines, they plan their children's life, they plan things for the world. It's like everything is strategic, everything is around numerology. Like they plan certain times and dates when certain people is gonna die. Like it's nuts. It's big nuts, bro.
They're big into the occult is huge into dates and numbers and
big.
9/11, 9 means each of the numbers have like an occultic
it has a significant meaning.
And this is again G. Edward Griffin, who is like, man, just like one of the greatest people of our time. He's still alive. He's still doing his thing, but he's been exposing the system since like the 60s. We saw earlier with him talking about the Communist Handbook, the American Communist Party 1943 Handbook. So let's watch him here on the left interviewing this guy Yuri Bezmenov, who is
I'm gonna mute myself, bro, and I'm gonna step into dinner for the family tonight. So while you playing that, I'm gonna step off real quick.
Sounds good, and I will pause here and there for some commentary as we go. All right, let's jump into this.
Well, you spoke several times.
And I have this guy's face, G. Edward Griffin. He's like one of my heroes. I have his face on coins and stuff. Like, people love him.
Before about ideological subversion. That is a phrase that I'm afraid some Americans don't fully understand. When the Soviets used the phrase ideological subversion, what do they mean by it?
Ideological subversion is the process which is legitimate, overt, and open. You can see it with your own eyes. All you have to do, all American mass media has to do, is to unplug their bananas from their ears, open up their eyes, and they can see it. There is no mystery. There is nothing to do with espionage. I know that espionage intelligence gathering looks more romantic. It sells more deodorants through the advertising, probably. That's why your Hollywood producers are so crazy about James Bond type of thrillers. But in reality, the main emphasis of the KGB is not in the area of intelligence at all. According to my opinion and opinion of many defectors of my caliber, only about 15% of time, money, and manpower is spent on espionage as such. The other 85% is a slow process, which we call either ideological subversion or active measures, активные мероприятия in the language of the KGB, or psychological warfare. What it basically means is to change the perception of reality of every American to such an extent that despite of the abundance of information, no one is able to come to sensible conclusions in the interests of defending themselves, their families, their community, and their country. It's a great brainwashing process which goes very slow, and it's divided in 4 basic stages. The first one being demoralization. It takes from 15 to 20 years to demoralize a nation. Why that many years? Because this is the minimum number of years which requires to educate one generation of students in the country of your enemy, exposed to the ideology of the enemy.
And I think that, there's like musical songs where they're called canons, where one group of the choir sings the first line, and as they move on to the second line, a different section of the choir starts the first line. And it's like a round where they're kind of cycling through the song at different points, but they all kind of fit and harmonize together. I think what we're seeing is a variety of the demoralization phases occurring in repeating cycles. They finish one demoralization and then they move on to another demoralization. So, for instance, when Obama was running for president in 2007, anybody that came out and said anything against Obama was called a racist. And it didn't matter what you were talking about, anything you said against him, they would use that 1943 Communist Manifesto or Communist Handbook tactic to smear people by calling them racist. So if you didn't like his immigration policy, you're racist. If you didn't like his economic policy, you're racist. Race had nothing to do with it, but since he was black, they could just say you're racist. So that began in 2007, and it carried over the whole time. You can look at the Google search results, and you can look at the number of times words are used in news articles. And in 2007, there's a spike in racism. And then it kind of dies off a little bit during Obama's tenure. But towards the end of it, again, it spikes again. And when Trump won the presidency, it's like he became the manifestation of all of the people who were just against Obama. And so all of those accusations of racism for all these causes were just projected and transplanted onto Trump as the fixation of the smearing. So he represents all of us, and they just smear him as racist, smear him as a bigot. And just think about how far we've gone in terms of race relations since 2007 until now. And 2007 to 2022, that's 15 years. That's the time span of the demoralization that Yuri Bezmenov talks about here. When it was 2005 and I was a senior in high school, race relations were at an all-time high in this country, and people were getting along better than ever before. And then Obama started running, and they just started dividing us, dividing. And by the time 2022 hit, you know, in 2021, I think it was, with the George Floyd riots and everything. Maybe it was 2020, but that demoralization had a massive effect and convinced tons of black people that white people just hate them, and that, you know, it's had a huge effect. It's right in that 15-year window, just as Yuri Bezmenov described here. So let's continue and listen to what else he has to say.
In other words, Marxism-Leninism ideology is being pumped into the soft heads of at least 3 generations of American students without being challenged or counterbalanced by the basic values of Americanism, American patriotism. The result you can see. Most of the people who graduated in the 60s, dropouts or half-baked intellectuals, are now occupying the positions of power in the government, civil service, business, mass media, educational system. You are stuck with them. You cannot get rid of them. They are contaminated. They are programmed to think and react to certain stimuli in a certain pattern. You cannot change their mind, even if you expose them to authentic information, even if you prove that white is white and black is black, you still cannot change the basic perception and the logic of behavior. In other words, these people, the process of demoralization is complete and irreversible. To get rid society of these people, you need another 20 or 15 years to educate a new generation of patriotically minded and common sense people who would be.
We're like at the beginning of that part right now, where we have the Great Awakening occurring, and we're maybe like 5-6 years into that, maybe more, maybe like 10.
I'd say more like 3, 4.
yeah.
I've real shit, bro. Like I'd
Maybe,
literally say like you know what I mean? Like literally like around 2015, that's when you started to get, you know, the difference of opinions. And then 2016, Uncle Trump came hard, and we're about in like the first 5 years. And, you know, it's sad, but it's going to get worse before it gets better, guys. It's going to get worse before it gets better. It literally says in scripture that these growing pains have to happen.
And
you know, the famine, the disease, the pestilence, all of this stuff, unfortunately, it has to happen. Some of us might not make it. I'm not gonna be on here talking like, you know, I'm insulated from this shit. No, I'm just like you guys. Some of us might not make it, but if you stick to your faith, if you hold ground, if you do good works, if you tell them, no, I will not accept the mark of the beast, man, you might get tortured, but you're gonna live in everlasting life. The people who are in charge are going to have hell to pay. They're gonna have hell to pay. One thing God hates more than he hates anything else is when you mislead his flock. When you got all of these Rudy Poo piece of shit political figures and all of these athletes and these actors, you know, misleading the people, boy, they're gonna have a high price. They're gonna have a high price. Bro, it is better to cut out your tongue and to tie an anchor to your neck and drop yourself off the side of a bridge than it is to touch one of God's children. I'm telling you now. So,
and
so
the problem
don't
is
forget
like,
that.
yeah, definitely. And the problem with humans, right, as a species, is that we only have memories that last as long as our lives. So revolution is fought against tyranny to secure the values of liberty. And then 100 years later, 200 years later, people forget about why liberty was important in the first place. And they think, oh, well, maybe we could try socialism. Maybe we can try these ideas for spreading around the wealth. And they don't realize that it's already failed everywhere a million times because they didn't live it. And so we have to like relearn these lessons over and over. And that's why, you know, Benjamin Franklin said you have a republic if you can keep it, because people forget about the lessons that instigated the impetus of the creation of the republic in the first place. And so now we have to go through these horrible things to remind people of why we decided on the founding principles that we had, because we've been through this before. You know, we've gone through this type of thing before, and it's taken a lot of trial and experimentation, but we found what works. And now we have to relearn why it's important and why it works again.
In favor and in the interests of the United States society.
Yet these people who've been programmed and, as you say, in place and who are favorable to an opening with the Soviet concept, these are the very people who would be marked for extermination in this country?
Most of them, yes. Simply because the psychological shock when they will see in future what the beautiful society of equality and social justice means in practice.
Equity, social justice. Like he just said social justice. This is like the mid 80s right here. And now in like 2018, social justice became a phrase that was being used by these new modern left movements. This is the plan. This is what they do. They subvert the ideology of countries with social justice. It's a blueprint used in color revolutions all around the world. It's why you had Chinese women giving speeches at schools talking about how woke and social justice were concepts that were pushed during Mao's color revolution in China that destroyed their social fabric. And they're seeing the same thing happening here now. They came here to escape that, and now they're witnessing the same operation taking place with the same phrases and the same words being used to push it. Social justice, equity, this whole thing here. It's just the same thing over and over. Let's continue.
Practice. Obviously, they will revolt. They will be very unhappy, frustrated people, and the Marxist-Leninist regime does not tolerate these people. They will join the links of dissenters, dissidents. Unlike in present United States, there will be no place for dissent in future Marxist-Leninist America.
So like we talked about before, if there's a castle and somebody inside the castle betrays the people and lowers the drawbridge, the new people that take over the castle aren't going to trust those people to not lower the drawbridge when they're in control. So they're going to basically kill all those people who are involved with lowering the drawbridge to prevent it from happening to them. What's up, Mark? Watching live, just got your text.
Here you can get popular like Daniel Ellsberg and filthy rich like Jane Fonda for being dissident, for criticizing your Pentagon. In future, these people will be simply squashed like cockroaches. Nobody is going to pay them nothing for their beautiful, noble ideas of equality. This they don't understand, and it will be greatest shock for them, of course. The demoralization process in the United States is basically completed already. For the last 25 years, actually it's overfulfilled because demoralization now reaches such areas where previously not even Comrade Andropov and all his experts would even dream of such a tremendous success. Most of it is done by Americans to Americans, thanks to lack of moral standards. As I mentioned before, exposure to true information does not matter anymore. A person who was demoralized.
That's so key too, because the
true
people
information does not matter anymore.
Exactly. The people who have been like programmed to think Trump, Russia, orange man bad. You can show them that there's no connection with Russia, that Russia spent 72,000 on Facebook ads. Like that's nothing. You can show that CrowdStrike proved that Fusion GPS was not a hack, that it was somebody on the inside, probably Seth Rich, getting the documents and exposing them. But information, reality doesn't matter anymore for these people. They're so brainwashed and so gone and so traumatized with the mass formation psychosis that they're programmed to just take whatever the leader says and believe it, regardless. The people who they consider figures of authority. And reality is an illusion, basically, at that point. What do you think, Dre?
Yeah, bro. Like you said, reality is just an illusion. The people who have been, literally like Hillary Rodham Clinton said, reprogrammed into their liking. You could literally show them the fucking evidence in their face, and they're not going to believe you. They're not going to change their mind.
Right.
They literally, and those are going to be the first to be exterminated. Those are going to be the first.
Yeah.
You people out there who believe they care about y'all, look me in my fucking face. They don't give a fuck about you, okay? They don't like you. Just as much as they don't like me, they don't like you.
Us.
They think you're a fucking idiot because the truth is in front of your face and they're looking at like, look at these dumb motherfuckers. Look at them. Look at him. They stupid. Yeah, you deserve to be exterminated. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's what they think.
I know. Let me coddle you like a little fucking baby that you are. I'm sorry if you
Really?
think that me saying you deserve to be exterminated hurt your feelings. You know what? I don't give a fuck. Hopefully, some of you motherfuckers who watch this change your mind and realize that you're being played. You're a Ponzi, Patsy. You're being played. So that's how I feel about it.
So many examples of this, like when the Mueller report came out, and on page 18 it said there's no evidence of Trump colluding with Russia.
None.
And like I'm showing this on the podcast that I'm at the time, and they're like, "Well, he colluded. It's like, dude, the report from Mueller says he didn't collude on page 18, on page 117. There are no repeatedly. And these people, when faced with the truth, they're just so convinced of the lie that they're unwilling to admit that they're wrong. And that's one of the key things too, is that if I'm proven wrong, I like to take pride in admitting it, because truth is the end goal. And you can only get closer to truth by admitting when you're wrong. And so you have to embrace being wrong as being a gift. When you find out that you're wrong, it's like a gift, so that you can get a little bit closer to truth and true reality.
Is unable to assess true information. The facts tell nothing to him. Even if I shower him with information, with authentic proof, with documents, with pictures, even if I take him by force to the Soviet Union and show him concentration camp, he will refuse to believe it until he is going to receive a kick in his fat bottom. When a military boot crashes then he will understand, but not before that. That's the tragic of the situation of demoralization. So basically, America is stuck with demoralization. And unless, even if you start right now, here, this minute, you start educating new generation of Americans, it will still take you 15 to 20 years to turn the tide of ideological perception of reality back to normalcy and patriotism.
I think we're a little further along than you thought, Dre, because this is the Alex Jones phenomenon that we're witnessing right now. In 2008, everybody thought Alex Jones was crazy, and he's out there like Paul Revere. The British are coming. The globalists. They're coming for your kids. They're going to turn your frogs gay.
Bro,
and everybody thinks it's crazy.
Your Alex Jones is on point, bro. I swear to God.
Hey, thanks. I love Alex, dude. He's my favorite.
And Rogan have the fucking best Alex Jones bro I've ever seen, bro.
But it's taken till now. Like, I was just reflecting on this yesterday, that back in 2008, it's like you talk about Alex Jones and people just shut you down, shut you out.
Right.
Nowadays, Alex Jones is on Joe Rogan. He's getting, everybody's talking about Alex Jones. Jack Posobiec tweeting that Alex Jones' primary mission is complete. Jones is being told behind the scenes by Elon's people and Joe's people that, like, listen, we know you've been working on this hard. You're like a horse that's like, its back is barely, just relax. We've got this from here. This is what he's been told behind the scenes. He's like, if you look at the Matrix as like an archetypal, example of the world, Alex Jones is like Morpheus, and he's been searching for Neo the whole time. And now, like, all these Neos are popping up all over the place, and it's finally happening. Like, people are finally waking up. So it's just a race to the finish line from here.
Most definitely.
What's going on?
Yeah. Bro. I think I apologize, y'all, but family duties are calling.
Oh, it's all good, bro. We can come back later. Tomorrow or whatever.
Yeah, family duties are calling once again. It's not like I'm on the road in the truck by myself. I got responsibilities here. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all being with us. And anybody out there, if y'all want to tap into Lou, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and tap into Lou. I think he just went live. And if we decide to do another stream tonight, we will definitely let y'all know. But for now, brother, I got to go cook the rest of this chicken and rice and be with the family for a little bit, man. And we love y'all and we appreciate y'all's support. Most definitely.
Yeah. I'm just glad that you're getting to be able to spend some time with your family right now. That's awesome. You're on the road for so long.
Yeah, bro. It's definitely it definitely feels good to wake up and wake up in my own bed and not wake up in a fucking truck and hop outside and smell piss and diesel fuel. You know what I'm saying? So It's definitely a blessing to be home.
Totally. No worries, Edward. You can always come back, and I totally.
Yeah, we get it. Hey, if it wasn't
for
for Lou, Edward, you wouldn't even be here, bro. You wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for Lou.
We still love you, even though you're abandoning us. Like,
he left us.
No, man.
Lou,
we got
Lou
Eric Stream over here. Ree in Texas. Hello. I want to see salt shakers in the chat.
Most definitely.
All right, we'll cut it here, and we'll come back. We'll finish this video with Yuri, and there's a lot more good stuff with Yuri to watch as well. He did like a presentation for a college class or something at one point that's really good, and he analyzes a lot of this stuff. Shout out to my friend Mark Koos, metal detector extraordinaire, fishing extraordinaire. He's a good dude, and to Alicia and to Jeannie and ZD and everybody that's here, thank you so much for being here. We will be back in the near future, and we'll talk some more about the education system. She's totally right here. And yeah, thanks everybody. Any closing words, Dre?
Man, I don't know, man. I just love y'all, bro, and I appreciate the support. The support is real, especially for the ones who always come and rock with us, man. We just appreciate y'all. And
hell yeah.
Thank you for helping us grow this platform, man. That's about it, man. I'm extremely thankful.
Yeah, thanks for being here. And yeah, we'll try to say what others won't, because I don't give a fuck personally. It has to be said. It's got to be said. Destiny is calling, and you got to shout it.
Period.
I want you to go to your window, and I want you to open up, and I want you to say, "I'm mad as hell, and I won't take this anymore." 1973 Network, the movie. That's like classic archetype thing right there. So, all right, sir. We will catch you guys on the flip side. Dre, thanks for being here. Go enjoy some family time, and we will see you guys soon. All right.
Peace.